Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Lunaria33. Today we're going to do a review and flip through on the Blind Spot Oracle cards or Oracle deck. There's 78 cards in here, kind of like a tarot deck. This actually came with 49 tattoos as well, which I thought was pretty interesting. I got it on Amazon. Oh, wait, 49 tattoos. Best used before the end of 2021. Oh well, I guess I'm gonna have to just throw them away. Oh no, actually what I can do is I can put the tattoos in my tarot journal. I just have to be really careful when I'm adding them on the paper. All right, anyway, so this is the book. It's fairly decent size. It's a matte cover, has a lot of information on the cards. And essentially what the blind spot means in this case for this deck, it's things that we purposely choose to be blind towards, things that we're kind of afraid of accepting or understanding or trying to grow from, things of that nature. So it goes pretty deep. Let's see if I can find one of the... So here, this would be the number of the card, and then this would be the initial meaning of the card. And then it gives you a whole bunch of information on what this may stem from or come from or why you're in that predicament, things of that nature. So it's very deep, I'll say that. Now, the way that I read it though is, I haven't read the book, gotta be honest with you, I have not. But what drew me to this deck, oh, here are the tattoos. Right here, I haven't even opened it, but you get some tattoos. What drew me to the deck was the fact that it was sigils. These are the backs. It's not gilded. I want to gild this like with a nice blue, maybe a hint of gold. I don't know. Kind of just want to do it blue. Anyways, but the fact that it's just sigils, it's just like glyphs or whatever you want to call it. And like the glyphs or sigils alone, like when I look at them, I'm already getting information, images, words, or hearing words. You know what I mean? So that's how I read these, where I would, shuffle, pick a card out, and then I read what I feel, hear, and see from the sigil or the glyph here. The other way that you can read it, also I have reverses. I have reverse cards in here. Let me put this right side up for you. But before I do that, the other way you can read it, of course, is with reversals. Like the image will look different if it's upside down. You'll probably see or feel different information if it's upside down. But yeah, the way I read it is more intuitively. And we'll do an example of how I would read a card towards the end of the video. And then we'll see what the book says about that to see if it's similar. Even if it's not similar, that doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean I'm right. It just means that that's how I choose to read it. But let me go ahead and put this right side up to do the flip through. 1 second. All right, so I put it all right side up. So again, essentially the whole deck is glyphs or sigils. One thing I do wish though is I wish the parchment here was like it took up more of the card. And at the bottom of the card, you have the numbering of which you would find in the book. Not the page in the book, but they have their own number on there. It's just not gonna be the page in the book. But immediately, like I said, when I saw it on Amazon, I think they have a few pictures of some of the cards, and like right away I started kind of being fed information when I saw the sigils or the glyphs. I know it's not a deck for everyone, I know that, but it's just a really interesting way of reading, I think. It also feels very primitive, if that makes any sense. Kind of, it makes me think of like caveman drawings or glyphs or sigils from way back in the day that we would see like in caves, mountains, rocks, you know what I mean? Another way you can also read it is if you're into numerology, is go off of the numbers, what you feel the numbers mean, or if you just want to, or if you want to Google what the number means. You know what I mean, jelly beans. I don't think it was that expensive either. If anybody's interested, I think it was, ugh, I don't even remember, it was a while ago. Maybe around $25, maybe. I'll put a picture of it on the screen with how much it is currently as I'm filming the video. I like the texture in the parchment. It looks like, makes me think of like a linen finish. Actually, that would be cool if they made this cardstock with a linen finish. It's a super glossy finish. Cardstock is really thick, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. Fairly thick, like, look at the thickness. Oh wait, there you go. If any of these glyphs or sigils stand out to you, like if you're being fed information immediately from seeing one of them, let me know in the comments which one it was and what it is that you saw, felt, or heard off of that sigil or glyph. I'd be very interested. I'm sure everybody else would want to know too. Oh, and because I do read these reversed too, there aren't reversed depictions in the book, because it's not, per the book at least, it's not meant to be read that way. But, you know, if you buy the deck, like, it's your deck at that time, so you might as well read it the way you want to read it. All right, so that was the flip through part of it. Now let's do a practice reading just to show you guys how I would read it. So I'm just gonna pick one random card and then tell you what I feel, see, or hear from it, and then we'll just compare it to the book. Again, if it's not the exact same thing, it doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean I'm right either. It just means that that's what I saw, felt, or heard at that time. Now let's go with this one. Well, immediately going in all directions here. Kind of like you're being pulled in different directions, a lot of indecisiveness on where to go. I'm also hearing like people pleaser, like trying to please too many people, or you're too focused on pleasing others and not really focusing on yourself, which can also be kind of draining, you know? I'm also noticing the crack here, so that's kind of referring to draining yourself, kind of like you're splitting, you're cracking. There's a need for balance there with what you're doing. There's also a need for you to set boundaries, healthy boundaries. So that's what I get off of seeing this image here. Now we're gonna see what the book says. Let me just find the page for it. So this is Sigil 25. One second. Here we go, Sigil 25, resistance. If you have drawn the sigil, you are in resistance. You are not admitting that a tug of war is occurring when you or a tug of war is occurring between yourself and someone else. What did I say? The fact that you're being pulled in different directions. See? Well, I guess this is an example of the fact that I read it kind of similar to what the book is kind of referring to, but also intuitively. Let's keep going though. To understand resistance perfectly, you want to imagine a stream with a fast-moving current. In this current, there's a boat. The boat has 6 oarsmen in it, each of whom have a paddle. Some of the oarsmen, am I saying that right, are paddling downstream with the current. Some of them are paddling upstream against the current. The oarsmen who are trying to paddle the boat upstream are in resistance. They are in resistance to the current itself. They are in resistance to the oarsmen who are also trying to paddle the boat downstream. Resistance is nothing more than opposition. It is an oppositional force. Oh my God, there's so much in here. I don't think you guys want me to read the whole thing, but just to give you an example of how much information is in here per each card. Let's see. There you go, it stops right there. Well, let's read this part at least. If you have drawn this sigil, the rule of thumb is this: you must directly deal with the resistance first before doing anything else. No action should be taken from a place of resistance. So just with what I briefly read on this card, you can kind of see what I mean by the fact of, one, they can be read intuitively, but even when you read them intuitively, some of the information that you're downloading can also be with what the creator was seeing, feeling, or hearing themselves when they drew this sigil or glyph here. I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions though on the deck, or more questions on how I read it or use the deck, let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see my first impressions on this deck, I did do a first impressions, or at least a quick first impressions on my Instagram, which is always linked in the description as well, so check that out if you want to. This was just initially a review and flip through of the Blind Spot Oracle deck. That is it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!